Good afternoon, good evening, and good night to all of you beautiful people out there. This is Chris and Dan Talk Sports. My name is Dan,
I'm Chris.
and today we're going to talk about the Lamar Jackson situation after this video. So yeah, this video is going to talk about the Lamar Jackson contract updates. It's currently March 8th. March 7th, I think, was the franchise tag deadline for like the whole league, was it not?
Correct. Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, we're going to get into that today's episode. That's going to be the meat and bones, but we hope that everyone has been enjoying the month of positivity that we've been doing. It's been fun putting those out. And yeah, Chris, you just want to say anything real quick?
No, it's been a ton of fun. Thank you guys for subscribing. We've noticed we got a couple subscribers recently. You guys are amazing. Appreciate every little one of you guys' support.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, let's go ahead and start talking about this. We're Baltimore fans. Lamar Jackson was franchise tagged. He got the non-exclusive tag, which means that other teams can make a bid on him if they would like. He's going to get 31 or 32 million dollars if he signs it, I believe. Is that
32?
right?
32? Yep.
32, perfect. So yeah, what that means, other teams can make a bid on him if they want to. If a team bids on him, the Ravens can match the bid and potentially go higher. So potentially there could be a bidding war. Otherwise, let's say for the sake of example here, Houston makes a bid and the Ravens decide not to match, then Houston is going to give up 2 first-round picks for him. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but that's the way that the franchise tag works. Which
I think it all depends on the amount of money. So I think a certain amount of money equals 1 first round pick or a certain amount of picks.
one thing that I did see, which is interesting from other YouTubers who've discussed like Grossi and Perna and whatnot, apparently like quarterbacks usually don't get this kind of tag.
No, it's not. That's why there's the whole rumor about collusion is that they think the league's against Lamar. I don't know if I'm full on about that. I love conspiracies and stuff like that. Like they're great. But I could totally see a bunch of rich guys saying, hey, Deshaun Watson, we can't afford to give $250 million to these quarterbacks. So I could 100% see them working together to try to bring the price down. But at the same time, it takes two to tango. So I don't really know what's going on there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I feel like from what I've heard and what I've seen, like from watching ESPN, Colin Cowherd,
Yep.
people like that, apparently the owners are really upset that Jimmy Haslam did that because it really screwed the market for a lot of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll kind of talk a little bit more about what other quarterbacks have been getting because a couple deals came out this week,
Oh,
which are
yeah,
pretty
some good
cool.
ones.
Yeah. But just right now, let's focus. So the teams that have said that they're not interested, and we verified this information before we started recording. Washington, it would make sense, but apparently they're not interested. They're not in the market for him. Personally, I think they just need to keep Heineke and develop Howell, maybe
Yep.
draft another one, but that's just
Not
me.
not a big Washington fan, but I 100% agree with you on that.
Falcons, which they have Desmond Ritter, but it's interesting. I feel like the Falcons might come in at the last second and try to get him. But remember how that happened last year? They were in the Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
They were in talks for him.
They were
But
around the same price apparently for offering. So I personally like the theory that people are saying that they're going to go say, "Oh, I don't really want interested in this," and then like at the very last second, actually, and then they bid.
they're
I
going to
could see
be
that.
like the silent bidder on eBay
Yeah,
comes in and snipes. Nice. Raiders need a QB. They just sent off Derek Carr, and I don't know who their backup is. So what do you think about that one?
Steedham. Is it Jason Stedham or am I
I thought
thinking
it
of
was Jared.
Jason's? It's
Anyway,
probably Jared.
Jared Stidham. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep.
Anyway, good.
And we don't really know. So I mean, I can't really give them a fault to not want to see how their quarterback would actually do, and they might want to draft somebody also. So they might like Richardson.
Do they have a top 10 pick? I'm curious.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. But anyway, so then there's the Raiders and
The
feel free to look that
Jets.
up while we're doing this, but the
Yeah.
Jets too. So the Jets is interesting because they have Flacco, who's a veteran. Obviously, he won Super Bowl MVP, so he's got talent, but obviously he's not as talented as he was. Now, whether or not that was just a fluke season or what, he's still got a ring. However, like we said it in previous episodes, Brett Favre walked so Aaron Rodgers could run, and Aaron Rodgers is the front runner in the collective minds of NFL fandom to go to the Jets if he's going to leave Green Bay.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of curious about that myself when it comes to the whole Aaron Rodgers situation. It seems like there's a lot going on there. I personally think he's going to retire. I don't know why. I honestly think he's just going to end up retiring.
I feel like he wants at least one more ring under his belt, but I mean, he
Could
did
see
get two
that.
back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah, that's impressive. He played very well for him. By the way, the Raiders have the seventh pick.
So okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
They could get Richardson if they wanted to. That's who I think would be around that range.
Gotcha. We'll see if our pets agree. Hint, hint. Miami has said no. Well, okay, not publicly said no, but they have Tua. So
Yeah, but they also like Lamar, I think. And apparently there was a rumor that they wanted Lamar at one point. They have Tua though, and Tua's a good quarterback in my personal opinion. I think his brother's also good, but I think he's a good quarterback. So I don't really know.
I feel like if we traded for Tua, I would be pretty happy with that, to be honest with you.
I'd be cool with that.
They don't necessarily have a huge draft pick right
No, they
now,
both
but
have they both have the injuries,
Miami.
but I think Tua has a bigger cannon.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say Miami forfeited their pick this year, the first round.
Yeah.
So Miami's probably less. But again, I think
Unless he
there
just sits out the entire year and waits till next year.
could be their coach, Mike McDaniel. Is that his name? Mike McDaniel? Mick Daniel?
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he really likes Tua.
Yeah.
And I don't know where if Teddy Bridgewater is still a backup there or if he got released. But Panthers is one that I find interesting because look, I'm not trying to be negative about Sam Darnold, but he's not. I don't think that's the right fit. And obviously, they had Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl with him,
Yeah.
so potentially. And that's another thing too about the Falcons. Maybe they're both just kind of like hiding in the shadows, waiting for the moment to pounce.
They might be watching the market kind of settle, see what people are signing for, what everything's going for. Then they might be like, oh, hey, Lamar, no one offered you $220 million. Here it is, fully guaranteed. Now, of course, the Ravens can match that, but
I feel like the Ravens would match that, but we can talk about that a little later. Some other possibilities that you and I thought of before we started recording. Houston needs a quarterback,
yep,
and they don't have the first round pick. So, I mean, they could still get a good quarterback.
they
I
have a
mean,
good first round pick. They have the second overall.
second overall, yeah. And their coach is a defensive coach, right? The new hire, I can't remember his name.
Where is he from? Was he from Denver?
San Fran.
San Fran? Yeah, it's the defensive coordinator then.
Yep. Another one, the Rams, because Matt Stafford might be out for good because of his injury. And I
Yeah.
don't think Baker, he signed, did you just sign a year or just to finish the
I think
class
he I
year?
think it's a year. When we were going through our free agents list, I think we saw it was only ended up in only being a year.
Okay. San Fran could possibly want someone with a little bit more
I
experience
would
just
love that.
because well, and so I've heard from watching these other things and reading Trey Lance isn't as I mean, he's still good, but obviously he's only
Yeah.
really played like two games and he broke his ankle.
Yep.
So and Jimmy G's leaving. And Brock Purdy apparently, did you hear that his surgery it was inflamed before he could actually do anything? So it's like I think this Friday he's having surgery.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
And he's really good. I would have loved to have seen him go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, me too.
Another team, Patriots.
That's scary. That is, because you remember what I was saying in the beginning of all this? I was saying the one place I wouldn't want him to go would be New England. I mean, it'd be scary.
We do not need another we do
That's
not
another
need another.
dynasty in the making.
Let's see here. Who's the is it Jacoby Myers? He's the free agent this
Because
year.
like, we'll go back to the Patriots for one more thing. Just imagine, because Lamar is going to be, and I'll say my French, it's not a bad word. He's pretty pissed off. So I think he's gonna be playing with a little bit of a we'll say ruthless aggression. I think he's going to play really well. If I don't think he's going to end up with the Ravens, so if he goes to the Patriots, imagine him with Bill Belichick. That's scary.
Again, though, I mean Belichick's more of a defensive coach. So I
Yeah, I just
wonder how
mean the
he would do.
mindset.
Okay. Well, would you say Harbaugh's a defensive coach?
Special teams coordinator, I think is what he was before he became a head coach.
Gotcha. Still then,
I don't know what Harbaugh. He's a really good. I think Harbaugh's a good coach, though.
I think
But
overall he's a pretty good coach. I think
yeah,
maybe a slight edge to the defense, but
I agree with that.
and then one in there that you put in that I was like, oh yeah, duh, Colts. Because
Yeah, and it'd be kind of funny because wasn't their owner the one that didn't want Lamar? They called him a wide receiver.
I don't remember. The Colts definitely not because I think it'd be a good fit, but because that's kind of what they've been doing. Although they've been going for more past their prime
Yeah,
agents, I don't think he's past his prime personally, but we shall see. I think Matt Ryan is not going to be there next year unless he's already been released. I have no idea.
I can't remember on that one either, to be 100% honest with you. Titans would be a good one as well. But with the rumors of them shopping Derrick Henry, are they going full rebuild
That's
or are
I
they
could see
going
it.
retool? Because they're retooling. Lamar would be a good tool to add to that offensive line that they have there. If it's improved compared to what it was last year.
I wonder though if he would just be so upset that they knocked him out of the playoffs the year that we were the first seed. If he'd be like, no, I'm not going there.
Nah, I think he'd be excited to go probably,
Yeah.
despite the Ravens.
One that I would just absolutely love, and I think it'd be a great fit, is the Bears.
Oh gosh, that'd be so
They don't have an
amazing.
O line, obviously, but
Yeah, for us it'd be amazing though.
no, yeah, because if we get Justin Fields, I love it. But
Oh, that or the first overall.
oh yeah, I mean Bryce Young, I've heard good things and bad things, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the Bears, I think would be. I think he would do great in the Bears system.
Yeah,
Not
because
necessarily because I think that he would like reinvent the franchise, but because I feel like he would help elevate them to a different level than what they're at now.
yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm wondering if they would, if the Bear, because we wouldn't get anything besides their first pick, one pick in this draft and one pick in the next draft.
I believe so.
First overall is how that works. So I'm wondering if they would keep Fields on their team to sit behind Lamar. That's interesting to think about
Well,
because then
Fields was
that's
only
a good
drafted.
backup.
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. That's a good backup to have because, like you're saying, he was only drafted like a year ago, not really given a chance yet. He started showing some really good signs.
I feel like Justin Fields is good enough to be a starter. I just think the Bears haven't given him anything to work with.
Correct.
So I feel like he might be insulted if they take away his starting job. That's just how I feel. I feel like
No, I agree.
put him in Houston or Las Vegas or Carolina,
Ooh.
and I feel like he'd be a good fit there. Obviously, all pretty subpar teams right now, but I feel like we're getting off topic. But
Oh no.
so, and then another one, you put this here kind of as a joke, but I still stand by something. But go ahead.
But what if the Green Bay Packers get Lamar?
I guess though,
It's a
like,
sure thing.
so here's what I would say though. Do you think they would trade us Jordan Love? Because apparently they're happy with the results he did last year.
I think they trade somewhere else. I think they trade him somewhere else. I don't think the Ravens would trade for him because I don't think the Ravens would give him a first round pick for him.
I could
If it
see
was a
it.
second round pick, yeah. But I don't think the Ravens have a second round this year.
But those are just some ideas of teams that, we think he might go to. I think honestly, out of all of those, the Bears and the Patriots, as well as Houston, probably have like the top chances.
And
As
I
much as I
love the
would,
San Fran. San Fran would be cool.
yeah, I don't think they need them. But
No.
so, okay, so now let's talk about the contracts that did get written up this past week
Yeah, there's some good ones. The Derek Carr for 4 years, 150 mil, 100 guaranteed
to the Saints.
to the Saints.
Do you feel
That's
like, how do
Didn't
you
we
feel
talk
about that?
about that? Didn't we talk about how we thought that Carr would be a pretty good fit for the Saints if they're able to keep? I forgot. I think when we were talking about that they would have to get rid of Michael Thomas because he's a $55 million cap casualty, is
That's
what I keep
pretty,
hearing.
what I keep hearing is the Saints are like, well, what is a cap? You know,
Yeah, and I 100% agree. I do think Derek Carr with Olave would be good. Do you think the Saints have a better offensive line than the Raiders, though?
that's a tough question. So, considering the fact that last year the Raiders had Derek Carr and the Saints had Andy Dalton, I'm going to go Raiders
Yeah,
because the
that's what I was
Raiders
thinking as well.
lost a lot of close games by like a field goal or a touchdown. You know what I mean? Like they almost won like half the games they lost, if not more. So I'm going to go the answer to that question being Raiders. But they do some restructuring. They play their cards right. They could be a playoff team next year.
Oh yeah, especially in that division.
Oh yeah, I think right now they're probably my pick to win the division as is right now.
I'll save mine. I like that. I like the Saints as a pick though.
But no, I think that is a pretty decent contract, 150 mil with 100 guaranteed for 4 years. I mean, that's like guaranteed. You're getting 25 a year. For Derek Carr, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and you have 50 million more that you can get with incentives, I imagine, or bonuses.
I would imagine, if he gets into the playoffs at least 2 of those 4 years, he probably gets his 50.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And then Daniel Jones, I guess I should talk about him since I share a name. So he got a 4-year contract with 160 million total, but he gets 82 guaranteed over the first 2 years.
Yeah.
I think that's a little high. How about you?
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I don't think he's worth that. He only threw 15 touchdowns.
Well, obviously he got them to the playoffs for the first time since Eli, I think, right?
Yes, he did. And
And they won a playoff game for the first time since they won the Super Bowl.
he did have 7 rushing touchdowns.
Okay, I remember that number.
And so that's 22 touchdowns. Still only 22 touchdowns though.
Over the whole season, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's high. I think that's really high.
I
Now I will
saw,
say the guaranteed's pretty good though, because it's only 82. So that's pretty good there.
and I guess technically they could either restructure the contract or cut him and then just let someone else pay for the rest of it. So
Yeah.
I saw a meme on Reddit where basically it was like Billy Madison and it was the Giants and the NFC East. And it's like, oh, wasn't I supposed to do something today? Oh, yeah, it's free agency. And then he goes and like ruins the whole thing by overpaying for Danny.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And then the best contract was the Geno Smith one. Was it 3 years, 105?
God bless Geno Smith, man. Not because he was from WWE, but he got comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
It just shows that he is not washed up and he actually is a good fit for Seattle.
And given the right chance, he's going to succeed. If he's not thrown to the wolves like he was with New York.
Exactly. Well, and he said it was 3 years, 150, excuse me, 105 with about, we're estimating because we didn't actually
75.
see it. 75 was guaranteed because I did see it was like 25 a year with
Yeah.
incentives after that. So yeah, I think that was a pretty good deal. I think that's the best deal out of all of them,
And
25 a year.
he's the best quarterback out of all three of them, too.
Oh, it's pretty similar to Derek Carr because, Derek's got 4 years, 100, and, Geno Smith's 3 with
Yeah.
75 guaranteed. So, but
And Geno Smith's contract, I think they can cut him after 2 years. So that I personally think they should draft a quarterback and then train him behind him. Not like a high quarterback, though. Like get
no,
someone to
no. Well,
sit
they
behind
have
him.
like the 6th overall pick, I think, because of Denver,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Bless Russell Wilson.
exactly. But anyway, those are just some examples. So out of these 3 examples, which one do you think, which of those 3 is he
Dan
most likely to
Jones.
get? Okay.
He's gonna get closer to 160. Let me rephrase that. He's gonna be closer to that 100. He's gonna have higher than 100 guaranteed. So I guess Derek Carr.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. I agree with that. I think he's going to get more than 4 years if they actually do come to a deal.
I
But
agree as well.
but back to Lamar, I just wanted to say I've seen a lot of people. I'm not going to name names, but I've seen a lot of people who are mad at the Ravens for what's going on. And I feel like you and I, before we went on this, I feel like you feel the opposite way about this. But feel free, we can have a friendly debate here. But the Ravens, obviously, they've had a couple of years now to give him a contract after his 3rd year, so I get that. I know that in this league, you need a good quarterback in order to get anywhere because, like, the last 10 quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl, with the exception of Nick Foles, were like franchise quarterbacks.
Nick Foles is an amazing quarterback.
Absolutely.
Don't you
Yeah.
talk disrespectful.
I'm not
just
disrespecting him.
No,
I'm
no,
saying
just
he wasn't
kidding.
there. But a lot of people out there are getting mad at the Ravens because, like, why didn't you pay him? Why didn't you do this? I'm of the mind that, look, they want him. They obviously like him. And in a perfect world, he would have already signed a contract by now.
100% agree.
But remember that Cleveland really ruined the market.
Yeah.
So now he's saying, well, this guy, Deshaun Watson, who has only won a couple playoff games, and I think he's tore his ACL like twice or 3 times, something like that.
Yeah.
He's getting 230 guaranteed. I want more than that because I've already got MVP and I've won a playoff game, gotten us to the playoffs. Like, I think like 4 out of the 5 years he's been there.
Yeah, and 1 year wasn't even him, I don't even think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and so he got them the number 1 seed. So I understand where he's coming from in that he should be valued more than Deshaun Watson. The problem, though, is that Jimmy Haslam is an idiot, and he made that purely, I don't know if it was out of spite or just stupidity or something or what. So much for the month of positivity, but it's just, I agree that Lamar deserves more than Deshaun, but neither one of them deserve what Deshaun got.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback I've seen deserve his contract so far.
Absolutely. And even
Yeah.
he is restructured, which we'll get to that in a second. But
Yeah.
and the thing is, Lamar, I can't say that he's being emotional because I mean, obviously I've seen a couple of screenshots of his tweets and things like that. So take with that what you will. Well, okay, so his mom is his agent and he is his agent.
He's his agent, his mom's an advisor.
Exactly. As a parent, you want the best for your child. And
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And obviously I don't know what his background was like.
I don't know all of his background either, to be
Yeah.
100% honest with you.
But I mean, let's just take, for example, you and I, we weren't rich growing up. So
No.
obviously it's like, well, I want the most money I can. I get it. But considering what the market is, I think he's asking too much. And I think if in this situation, if he's really holding out, I feel like he's thinking too highly of himself. Because I can name off the top of my head 3 quarterbacks, if not 4, who are better than him:
I'll debate him. Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes,
You win that one.
Joe Burrow,
I'll give you that.
Josh Allen.
I won't give you that one.
Okay,
I think he's a product of his offensive coordinators.
fair, fair. What's the other one? Tom Brady. Well, Tom Brady retired, but
Yeah, but Tom Brady, he don't count though. He's twice the age. I'll give
yeah.
you the other two
Okay,
though.
okay. Well, I'll just say those 3 then.
But I will say this: Burrow's probably going to reset the market again when he goes to get his contract, and he deserves it as well.
Oh, Cincinnati has nothing to lose.
Yeah, Cincinnati's going to throw the volt at him. They're going to give him the entire city.
Oh, I think he'll get 200 guaranteed.
I think he'll have a
100%.
closer to a Patrick Mahomes. As long as he stays healthy, he'll have a Patrick Mahomes contract. I think.
But again, so as a parent, you want what's best for your child, and I get it. But at the same time, agents are there for a reason. Agents are supposed to remain partial to the client, but they also need to understand the way that the system works and how the market is. I get obviously too, if you have an agent, you have to pay them a commission. Maybe he
Yeah,
doesn't want to do that. I don't know. But I just feel like he has been handling this the wrong way. And you could make the argument that the Ravens have been too. I get
I
it.
think both of
But
them have. So I
yeah,
agree.
I think that having your parent as an advisor and you being your own agent when we're both older than him. Like, we don't know much about like,
Well, I'm the same age as him. He's actually older
okay,
than me.
oh nice. I don't want the team to be exclusively about him. Even Brady, he took pay cuts to help his team. Mahomes has already restructured his contract and he got $500 million over 10 years. He's definitely talented, but he's also injury prone. He missed the last like at least 4 or 5 games of the past 2 seasons. I just don't think it's worth it. I'm not going to be mad if he goes to another team. I'm not going to be mad if we trade. I'll be happiest, I guess, if he stays and we actually go to a Super Bowl, if not win it. But that's me over. At this point, I think it's kind of a pipe dream, but go ahead.
No, I 100% agree with you. So, guys, my take on this whole thing, I'm a big Lamar fan. I'm going to be. He's not going to be on the Ravens, I don't think. I think at this point, it's not even about money. I think it's going to be about respect, a lot of it. And I agree with him. They should have had this deal done. But I also agree in the sense that Deshaun Watson ruined the market and no one deserves that much money. um,
Especially him, Deshaun
yeah,
Watson.
yeah, especially him. Gosh. But I'm just imagining if I was in their shoes, I was promised this amount of like you see someone who shouldn't get that much money. It's like no, I'm gonna sit here. I also think the NFLPA has been getting him to try to get that contract 100% guaranteed. But I won't be upset. I'm gonna be upset when Lamar leaves because it's gonna suck. He's probably one of my favorite players the Ravens have drafted. But there's so much unknown, and that just makes it so fun. And the NFL GM in me wants me to pick up Madden 23, start rebuilding, do a rebuild series now because of it.
They want to keep him, but I think he just wants too much. And so right now, by giving him this non-exclusive tag, they're kind of calling his bluff. Like, okay, well, here's what you want. Here's what we're willing to pay you. Obviously, we're at an impasse, so we're gonna you know make you available for other teams. And if another team wants to give you what you want, sure, we get 2 first-round picks for that. Cool.
I actually think it's gonna be pretty fun to watch this whole thing unfold. It's frustrating because I'm tired of people coming after like characters of people, and I'm like, we don't know what's going on. Like, don't go after people's characters
Yeah.
like that's because you see it all the time with NFL actual media. I don't really see it too much with like the other YouTubers I watch and stuff, but
No, I think Lamar is very talented and I like him. I think he's the best quarterback that the team has ever had.
yeah,
That being said, I just feel like this isn't going to work out in the way that we all would hope, just personally.
yeah,
What I hope, sign him to a 5 year, 200 mil guaranteed or whatever deal with like
yeah,
175 guaranteed, something like that.
yeah. No, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, we're going to lose. What it wasn't Marlon Humphrey, was Marcus Peters is going to be on the chopping block, and so
He's
is
gone. Yeah,
it's a
but
business. You gotta think of it like that. It's a
yeah,
business, and Eric DeCosta knows that.
I gotta say is if you're a Ravens fan, I'd be excited. I am excited personally, so I'd be excited just for the unknown because what's the worst that happens? Lamar leaves, we get two first round picks, and we get to go grab a quarterback in free agency, pick up a wide receiver, or trade for D Hop.
Which, by the
Would
way,
love that.
I just googled this. Under the franchise tag, Ravens and Lamar Jackson now have until July 17th to work out a long-term deal. I think it'll be done before that you know, if an agreement is not reached by that NFL mandated deadline, the new deal can't be signed until after the season,
Yep, which he would sit out.
and he would get 32 million basically just to do nothing.
Yep.
At any rate, so let me ask you this: who do you think would replace him? Who would be the best to replace him, and how do you see it happening? Because my answer is the Bears, Justin Fields.
I think if Stetson Bennett from the NFL draft, I think they're going to grab him in the late rounds, and they're going to bring him in because he's the Georgia's coordinator. He'll be used to that offensive scheme. I could totally, and he's an older quarterback, so I mean he's got poise. So I mean I could totally see. I don't think he's a great quarterback by any means. I don't think Stetson Bennett's a great quarterback, but I think I'm saying his name correctly. I think he's going to be a good bridge quarterback because we have someone that can just get the ball to our playmakers just and let our defense get out there and keep making plays like they always do. I think we can beat anybody if our defense stays the same.
Fair, fair.
Also, I'm a very overconfident Ravens fan.
Right. We'll talk in a later episode about our predictions for the season.
I'm glad I got his jersey though, and I can't wait to see who my next jersey is I get. Might be Bateman. I like him.
Well, and I think too, if people are going to go out there and be like, "Well, Lamar Jackson just is terrible," and this is all him being selfish, I don't think he's being selfish. I just think he's being too emotional about the situation, and I think he's a great player. I would love to keep him.
Yeah.
I don't want people watching
He's a
this and
great
think
guy too.
Lamar, because I don't.
Yeah, no. Dan does not hate Lamar. But he's a great guy too, especially the stuff he's done for his community. Like he wrote a children's book, stuff like that. I constantly see him doing events down in my the like Florida area on his Instagram. So wherever he goes, I hope he does good. That's the
Exactly.
main thing
I wish him
because
well.
he's a good dude, and I from what I've seen, we don't really know anybody like that until you actually know him. But seems like a good guy. Want the best for him, but I also think the Ravens would do better with or without him at this point because what's how's that relationship going to be? Is it going to be like Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? We don't want that.
I just got to sign him to a pity contract because nobody else is making any offers.
Yeah, it's
So be interesting to see though if Atlanta or Carolina snipe in there.
I like the eBay bidders.
Right.
That part was good.
Or Houston. I can see that, but I think obviously
Cleveland.
the four teams I could see, like if you made me pick right now and I had money on it, I would say either Chicago, Carolina, Houston, or why am I blanking? Atlanta.
Who do you think who's your dream destination for him to go? And you can say the Ravens also.
I mean, in a perfect world, stay with the Ravens, but I think too much damage has been done right now. So I would say Bears.
I agree with that. I like that. That first round pick would be very, very, very pretty.
Not even just for the first round pick, but I feel like I said earlier, he would elevate the team.
Oh yeah, offensive scheme wise, he'd be
Well,
great there.
and on the other side, it would help the Ravens to have Justin Fields.
Well, they'd have to pick up Justin Fields if he got cut.
Well, yeah, they could trade him and the first round pick, but who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was us talking about the Lamar Jackson situation. Please feel free to drop a like, subscribe. We're going to make short videos every day for as long as
Yep.
we can, and we're going to be working on special topic videos like this.
And one more time, guys, I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the love and support that we've been getting. You guys are amazing, and make sure to like and subscribe, like Dan said. We'll catch you guys in the
Absolutely.
next one.